Well, we had a good little rain shower last night and more on the way today. Field's nice and wet, so that's a good thing. I'm gonna set this brush pile on fire and see if I can't get some of these stumps and brush burn up, and go down there and set the one on fire behind the pond dam as well. So I got me some straw in the bucket. Let's go see what we can do. All right, got the straw on fire. Grab some of this super dry brush from right here, stack on top of it. Get some that doesn't have any dirt in it. That right there is going to do it. I have to go splash a little diesel fuel on it, but it's going to take off now. Watch this. That should get it going here pretty soon. Well, luckily it didn't take much to get the fire going. In fact, I better move my jug right there before it melts. I'm going to grab some more of these stumps and start throwing them on there and get all that brush piled on there. Get this stuff burned up. I had to shut the door because it got a little too warm. Got all those big logs piled in there. I'm gonna throw some of these stumps on there and calm it down just a little bit, and then go get some more of that wood and logs and kind of crisscross everything in there. That'll give these stumps a minute to start getting pretty warm and cooking a little bit. Calmed it down a little bit. Hold some of that heat in there. Well, these stumps that Mr. Darrell did dig up did clean off pretty good once I break them around a little bit. Knocked most of the dirt off of them. I just can't grab two of them evidently. So I kind of throw all these in here. Kind of crisscross there, and I'm going to go over here and grab some of this brush, and then I'll lay it perpendicular, and it leaves a lot of air pockets in there, and it just allows it to burn a lot better from what I found out. If you just pack it in there like a brick, it won't burn. So I didn't dig a hole right here because this is possibly where I'm going to need to be getting dirt from, so there was no need to contaminate the area that I'm getting dirt from. So take this, lay it up there like so. Matter of 45-degree angle. Some of these bigger logs right here, that'll kind of create a little channel for the air to get up in there. Oh, it's already burning good again. Go push that like so. Hoping it kind of back feeds back through this pile. There's a lot of dry stuff in there, so I'm hoping it will, but the wind is blowing that way. When I built the pile, I was hoping the wind was going to blow this way, but it is what it is. I can't control nature. I can only deal with it. Which, other than blowing all those hot embers right across that field, but it's nice and wet, it's actually good that it's blowing that way, because if it was blowing this way, it would be putting all those embers right over top of where I need to be working, and that's a big no-no as well. You don't want all that stuff blowing on top of the machine, or you'll end up on fire as well. Let me get one more grapple full, and I'll throw some stumps down here, and then I probably need to go down there and start that pile on fire and get it burned up before the rain comes in later this afternoon. Second pile was a little more difficult to get going, but I got it burning. I'm gonna let that burn down. I'm gonna go up there and really stack up that pile on top of the hill up there, and then come back down here and repile that one. Let's track over here. Ain't no need to walk. We gotta walk over here with the machine anyways. Look down in our big diversion ditch and see how the water ended up flowing through here. It is flowing through here, I just don't know what it looks like where this rock is. Looks like it's got pretty good flow as well. Oh yeah, look at there. That's working out just peachy, isn't it? Little check dam, nothing's washing. Just flowing right straight through there like it needs to. Perfect. Fire's burning down really well. I gotta wrap me into those stumps. I'm gonna hop on the dozer and push the rest of that stuff over here. The rain's not too far off. I want to get all that pushed over here before it rains, because then it'll just get mashed in with the mud. So saving that pile to put on top of the stumps once I throw them all on there. So let me go push some of that here, and we'll stack them up on the fire. And then at some point in time I need to go down here and stack this other one up, but we'll get to that when I get to it. Well, I left my magnet from my GoPro at home, so you didn't get to see any push in there, but I got majority of those stumps. There's some big ones over there I'm gonna throw over here with the excavator, but I got a big wall of dirt and stumps piled up. I'm gonna throw some on the fire. I really need to get down there and stack that pile back up. Of course, the wind has changed 180 degrees, so now it's blowing this way. Last grapple full from the stump side. I still got that brush right there, but this is it from behind me. I'll spin around and show. That stump up there, a couple of those big stumps, I just can't get the dirt off of them, so I'm just going to throw them in the fire and let them burn. But other than just a few little roots and stuff, all those stumps that Daryl busted out with the D8 are now in this pile. I'm going to go to the other side, and since the wind's blowing that way, I don't want to go behind the pile. See whatever I can do to throw a few stumps in there, just to get them to burn. I've been piling all that little stuff on top, getting the fire nice and hot, so hopefully those coals will go down there and just smolder those stumps out. Ooh, that's hot. Good fire. I've about got everything from right here cleaned up too. All that's left is just this little pile of brush. I'm going to grab it, throw it on the fire, and then hop on the dozer and start just kind of blading over everything. My little pile down there is just about gone. So all in all, it's been a very productive day, I think. shut the door because that's very, very toasty. Burning my face. I can't build a little bit of a heat wall. Some of this stuff. What that'll do is kind of knock the heat back a little bit until it catches on fire. Then it'll be even hotter. Scatter that. Pile had some dirt in it. You just kind of scatter that. It won't put the fire out. Pretty nice today for burning. Enough rain to make it safe, but not too much where it turned everything into a muddy mess. I mean, no, it's not dry by no means, but at least it didn't dump like 2 inches of rain today and turn everything into a swamp. Hoping all this brush right here will be enough to get all those stumps burnt. Just kind of keep pushing everything up from here. Well, I packed this stuff in here, didn't I? Stump up there and get that burning down. It's gonna take a little bit of time. That big oak stump. All this catches on fire, it's going to be cooking. We're about to have a good little inferno. This stuff is still dusty from being inside the pile packed in there, so oh, that's really going to get burning good. Oh yeah. this stuff up and jump on the dozer and do a little cleanup work. Track down here to the pile behind the pond dam. I'm going to kind of stack it up. I did run down here with the bulldozer and try to push it up a little bit. It just hadn't burnt down enough to really be able to do anything with it. See if I can't get that big old sycamore stump in the center of the pile. Come on, pick up. There we go. And swing. And it's further away than it was. Well, when all else fails, you just put the pile on top of the stump. So I lit this fire on the upwind side of it because the wind was blowing that way, and now the wind's changed and it's blowing the opposite direction. So that's my luck right there on that. Stuff in here that's not going to burn too good. Got some dirt in it. So I'll pile up what will burn, and the rest will probably get buried along that tree line back here. I took most of my brush up there. I know it was farther to go, but that pile up there burned really well. This one's burning, but it's not the greatest in the world. It shall burn though. Just gonna keep piling everything up on it. It'll get smaller and smaller. To take all this up there, so not a whole lot of stuff, but it's a whole lot when you have to move it that far. That makes sense. Alright, stack this up a little more and go up there and pile the other burnt pile up a little better. Then might go get some lunch while it burns down, and then come back and stack it up again. It's always easier to stack it up once it burns a big area out. Well, that didn't take long to get going good. There was a lot of good dry stuff right here, and I got that piled on there, and boy, it just really took off. So I'll let that burn down for an hour or so, and that should mostly disappear. Just come back down here and stack it up one or two more times. Should be gone. Cut more trees back there. He's got about a dump truck load right there burning. Pretty much that big stump and a little more stuff. All this is now on the pile. It's starting to get a little slippery here on top. I'm gonna go over here. I got the dozer on the other side of the pile and blade over that. Just kind of clean this up a little bit and push all this dirt and roots up to the pile, so that when I have to get rid of those ashes, I can just kind of mix it all in, and maybe it won't be so dusty. And there we have it, all the stumps from this area all the way down, and everything from the pond dam is on the pile and burning. That humongous stump and log I just drug out of the pond down there, that ended up being a little more of a challenge than I thought it was going to be, but it's on the fire, and we'll just let that sit there and burn down. I'm gonna fuel up and go check out the head section over there. Might want to do some cleanup work over there while it's too wet to move dirt. Well, I made it to the excavator. Looked like the fire burnt down pretty good. Just a bunch of dirty stumps left. So what I'm going to do is go over there and restack all that. I think everything's still wet enough where the field won't catch on fire, and it'll finish burning all that stuff up. So I'm gonna let the machine warm up a second and go over there and just restack, knock some dirt off those stumps, and see if I can't get that burning better. Stacking the fire here now, trying to get some stuff that's not burnt back in a pile here, so it'll catch on fire and hopefully finish burning the majority of this stuff up. I'm going through here all these stumps that I put on here that had so much dirt on them I couldn't get knocked off. Pulling them out of the pile now that they've set for almost 48 hours now and dried out pretty good. You can pick them up a few times, and as you see, kind of drop them, and most of that dirt is now nice and dry, and it normally pops right off. Get you a couple stumps and drop them on top of each other, and it'll knock most of the dirt off the root balls. Sometimes you got to get a big stump like this. Now this one right here is probably not going to clean up as well as the other ones, but you just kind of see how it just all flies off. You can also fling it over here so that dust isn't all on you. But even big stumps like that, they're kind of a nightmare to get cleaned up. It's just the roots are so tight in there, and the dirt just packs in there so bad. So I'll get it a little bit better. What's left on that one, it'll just end up in a hole somewhere. So I can grab this stump now that it's clean, lay it right there. I'm going to grab a little bit of this stuff right here that seems to be burning really well. See if I can't throw that in my pile, and hopefully that'll catch up a little bit. It'll always catch up, it just takes a little bit of time depending on how long it's got to sit there and get everything nice and hot again. Those ashes get out of the way. There's a pretty good log right here. That should catch back on fire pretty easily, but all in all, I mean, the pile's pretty clean. You see right here, I raked all that, and there's really not a whole lot of stuff that didn't burn come out of it. You're going to get a random log in there that just got smothered out. It's mostly just these big stumps. Pick all these out. Oh yeah, that one right there is going to be back on fire very soon. What we got? Oh, we got a big log right here. Oh, that was that great big old piece of white oak. I actually laid that in the very bottom of the pile, and as you can tell, it didn't burn worth a darn. It's barely charred. Oh, it'll get some air to it now. It ought to be dry though. It ought to have dried out some though. See how this right here just kind of bust on fire once it gets some air to it. drop that in a pile and that'll help get that started. Alright, well let me rake around this a little more and get some more stumps out, and my fire pile should be going really well by the time I take the next video. Well, now the fire is going pretty good. I moved to the other side of the pile as the wind changed and started blowing pretty much directly where I was sitting. So that's kind of why I went ahead and got that side done first before the fire got going pretty good. I'm grabbing these stumps and just trying to knock more dirt off of them. Just pick them up and keep dropping them. It will bounce off. I need to get level so I quit rocking like a rocking chair. Grab another one and see if we can't drop it on that one. But you see why you got to layer these piles so much when you burn them. If you just make a giant pile of stumps in the center, they'll never burn. Even this, I mean, what's left right here will still burn for 2 or 3 more days. That one might just have to end up on the bottom right here. I don't think it's ever going to burn, but we'll keep it near the fire and wish it luck. Keep piling stuff on top of it, it'll get a little bit smaller. You just got to keep piling all this like burnt ends, and like those little stumps like that burnt down but didn't. Well, let me knock the stump I just laid up there off. But just got smothered out. You just kind of mix all that in there with it. And it'll just catch back up and burn hotter than any fire you've ever seen. It just takes time. Well, about another 20 or 30 minutes, I should have this pile gone through. Let it burn what it's going to do, and then I'm going to go start on dredging the head section of this pond out since it's too wet to work. Moving dry dirt. With more rain coming tonight and tomorrow, I figured might as well go work in the mud because it's going to be mud whether it's sunny or raining. Oh, I forgot about that one. That was that humongous forked stump end of a white oak. Yeah, I highly doubt that's not going to finish burning, but we can put good intentions on here and pile it right here so it's got the biggest chance of its life to burn. Alright, let me keep piling all this small stuff on there and make the trek around there, and that will be probably the following video after this. Well, I think that's going to do all that it's going to do. Pretty much burn all that stuff up. I might have to come back over here and jump on the dozer and push it up, but I took everything that was in the existing pile and just kind of moved it over and restacked it, and it's burning nice and hot there now. So I'll let that burn down, and maybe before I leave today, come over here with the dozer and just shove it up a little bit since I'm taking the excavator all the way across the pond. It's not really feasible to bring it back over here, so let's go dredge the pond out now.